Tonight, we step inside the Milky Way. Tonight, I want to take you somewhere you've been your whole life, yet never truly seen. It stretches above you every night, a pale, glowing river, a wound of light across the darkness. We call it the Milky Way. But that name, simple and soft, hides an infinity. From the ground, it looks like a mist, a smear of light lost behind the noise of cities and clouds. But what you're really seeing is a cross section of home, our galaxy, seen from within. We live inside this river. Every photon, every atom in our body, every thought flickering behind your eyes was born somewhere in its light. So tonight, let's drift beyond our small horizon. Let's rise through the atmosphere, past the shimmer of auroras, past the whisper of satellites, past the blue skin of Earth itself. Breathe slowly. Feel the air thin. The sky deepens from cobalt to violet, from violet to black, and then stars. Thousands, millions, each one burning quietly in the vacuum. You begin to see the Milky Way not as a stripe but as a structure, a glowing disk, thin as a coin, spinning silently through the dark. It contains about 400 billion stars, give or take, and somewhere among them, orbiting an ordinary yellow sun, is you. This is not an abstract fact, it's a perspective, one that humbles and expands at once. Every ancient civilization looked up and wondered about this band of light. The Greeks thought it was milk spilled from the breast of a goddess. The Chinese called it the Silver River, where the weaver girl and the cowherd met once a year across the stars. The Aboriginal Australians saw it as the campfire of their ancestors. Different names, same awe. And that awe is what we are here for. So close your eyes. Let the hum of your own breathing blend with the quiet heartbeat of the cosmos. And together, let's drift into the night inside the Milky Way. Chapter 1: The Descent into Starlight. It begins with a single breath. The air grows thinner, colder. The colors fade from blue to indigo, then to the deep black of space. Below, Earth curls like a sleeping animal, half lit by sunrise. Clouds move like breath. Continents gleam faintly beneath veils of mist. Up here, the world feels impossibly fragile. A bubble of life adrift in endless dark. And beyond that dark, light. The Milky Way begins to reveal itself, not as a stripe across the sky, but as a city of stars, vast and intricate. You drift forward, and the stars become motionless lamps, in a frozen sea. They're so far apart that even light, the fastest thing we know, takes years, centuries, millennia to cross the gulf between them. Space is not empty, it's filled with quiet, a fabric woven from the faint hum of radiation left over from the birth of the universe itself. A background song, always there, older than any star. As you move deeper, the Milky Way's spiral arms become visible, curving tendrils of light and dust, each containing billions of suns. You are traveling through the Orion Arm, a small spur between two of the galaxy's grander spirals. It's home to our sun, a modest star, burning steadily for nearly 5 billion years. Around you, stars of every color shimmer. The blue ones are young and wild, fusing hydrogen with furious speed. The red ones are ancient, their cores heavy with carbon and iron, burning their last fuel before fading. If you could stop by any one of them, you might find planets circling, some barren, some frozen, some perhaps shimmering with oceans and clouds. Each system is a different note in the same cosmic chord. Between the stars, thin streams of gas adrift, the leftovers of older generations. Because stars don't live forever, they die spectacularly, collapsing, exploding, scattering their elements into space. Every atom of oxygen in your lungs, every carbon molecule in your skin was forged in one of those deaths. In a sense, your body is a memorial to 1,000 ancient suns. You realize now that you're not just looking at the Milky Way, you are looking within it and within yourself. Your eyes adjust to the darkness, and you begin to notice motion, the subtle turning of everything. The galaxy rotates, though it takes 200 million years to complete one spin. Every star moves, drawn by gravity's invisible thread. From this distance, the movement feels slow, but the speeds are unimaginable. Hundreds of kilometers per second. And yet, it all feels still, like the calm face of a storm too vast to comprehend. As you drift through this sea of light, time itself seems to lose meaning. Seconds stretch, memories blur. You are surrounded by eternity, and eternity is patient. Somewhere far behind you, the sun continues to burn quietly, a pale dot lost among billions. And yet, that small dot is home. But tonight, you're not bound by home. Tonight, you are starlight, free, weightless. drifting through the silent architecture of your own origin. Chapter 2: The River of Light. You drift deeper now into the river itself. From afar, the Milky Way looked like a mist, but up close, you realize the truth. It's not mist at all. It's countless stars, packed so closely together from this view that their light blends into one flowing band. Imagine standing inside a cathedral made of starlight. That's what this is. A temple without walls, without sound, without end. As your eyes adjust, colors emerge. The blue stars burn fiercely, newborn and reckless, their lives short but bright. The yellow ones, like our sun, are calm and balanced, patiently fusing hydrogen into warmth for billions of years. And the red ones, the elders, glow softly, ancient and wise. Their light a whisper from ages long past. The empty spaces between them are illusions. Even where darkness seems to reign, there are particles, atoms, ghosts of stars long gone. If you could reach out your hand, you would feel nothing, but through that nothing pass streams of light, cosmic rays, and particles traveling near the speed of thought. This is the Milky Way's bloodstream, the slow circulation of time and energy. And as you float through it, you begin to notice the pulse. It's not sound, it's rhythm. Every star vibrates with the resonance of fusion. Every cluster breathes in cycles of formation and decay. The galaxy is alive, not like a creature, but like a thought, an ancient self sustaining idea, dreaming in the language of gravity and light. You pass through a star cluster, a family of 1,000 suns born from the same cloud. They move together through space like a migrating flock. Some are still wrapped in veils of gas. Others have cleared their orbits, surrounded by faint belts of dust, where planets are beginning to take shape. The heat here is unimaginable, yet the silence is perfect. Sound needs air to travel, and there is none. All the fire, all the motion, and not a single note reaches your ears. It's strange how something so violent can feel so peaceful. You remember the myths of Earth, how ancient eyes saw the same river of light and filled it with gods. To the Greeks, it was milk from Hera's breast, a divine accident that gave birth to the stars. The Norse called it the path of souls, The Aztecs saw it as the serpent Quetzalcoatl, its scales, the stars themselves. But beneath all these stories was one shared feeling that the Milky Way was not a thing to be understood, but to be felt. And maybe that's what science has always been, a new way of feeling the same awe. Because even now, as instruments measure light years and star temperatures, we are still the same species that once stared up from the ground and whispered, "What is that?" You pass near a blue supergiant, a massive sun thousands of times brighter than our own. Its light burns white hot, its surface boiling with storms the size of planets. Waves of radiation pour outward, turning nearby space into a furnace. Around it, a bubble forms, a glowing shell of gas pushed away by the star's own wind. This is power beyond comprehension, and yet it exists without ego, without noise, without drama, just being. The galaxy doesn't boast, it just is. As you drift farther, you begin to see patterns in the chaos. The stars arrange themselves in great rivers and clusters, like neural pathways in a brain. Dark veins of dust run between them, veiling some regions, revealing others. And for a fleeting moment, you realize the Milky Way is not so different from you. It thinks in gravity, it remembers in light, it breathes through time. Its heartbeat is slow, a single rotation taking 200 million years. But to it, that is just a sigh. We live inside that breath, small, temporary, but real. If you could look outward now, beyond the galaxy, you would see a truth both humbling and comforting. That even our Milky Way is just one of the billions. But that's not where we are tonight. Tonight, you are here, inside the spiral, bathed in its light, floating through its dreams. You look down, if down even exists here, and you can see your home star. Tiny, quiet, steady. It's one among many, but to you, it's everything. And for the first time, you feel a strange mix of things: insignificance and belonging, loneliness and connection, the awareness that you're both nothing and everything all at once. The galaxy doesn't need your understanding. It only asks that you look and feel. You drift on, a single consciousness among billions of lights, each one whispering the same message. You are part of this. Chapter 3: The Heart of the Galaxy. The stars are growing denser now. You can feel it, the soft pressure of light, the gathering heat of ancient fire. And for most of your journey, the galaxy felt open, like an ocean. Now it feels like a city built entirely from suns. Each one is a lantern burning in the dark, each one part of a pattern so immense no mind could ever hold it all at once. This is the galactic core, the center of our Milky Way. If you could look down upon it from above, it would shine like a golden heart. There are more stars packed into a single teaspoon of sky here than across the entire stretch of the familiar constellations you know. You're flying toward Sagittarius, toward a direction on Earth we call Sagittarius A. It isn't just a name, it's the place where gravity itself forgets its limits. Imagine a whirlpool in space, spiral of light, gas, and dust, all falling inward towards something that cannot be seen. That's what you are approaching. A black hole. 4 million times more massive than our sun. A body so dense that space folds around it, like silk drawn into a drain. But don't be afraid, you're not falling. You are observing, drifting. From this distance, it's breathtaking. You see the matter swirling in, glowing brighter the closer it comes to oblivion. It forms a luminous ring, the accretion disk, so hot it radiates light across every wavelength. This is what Einstein's equations look like when they come to life. Space curves, time slows, light bends, loops, and spirals into itself. Reality here is not broken, just rewritten. As you watch, you notice something extraordinary. The stars near the black hole are not devoured, they dance. One of them, a small, fast moving sun, completes an orbit every 16 years, whipping through space at thousands of kilometers per second. It's not chaos, it's choreography. Every orbit, every flicker of light is proof that even near the most violent force in existence, there is order, there is beauty. Scientists on Earth have watched these stars for decades. They've mapped their motion, measured the invisible hand pulling them. That invisible hand is Sagittarius A. And in 2022, the Event Horizon Telescope gave us something miraculous. The first ever image of its shadow. Not light, but the absence of it. A perfect circle of darkness, surrounded by a ring of fire. The heart of our galaxy. A silence so deep, it shapes everything around it. You drift closer, not enough to be lost, but close enough to feel time itself stretching thin. It's said that if you could cross the event horizon, you'd never know it. There's no wall, no threshold, just a point of no return. Beyond that, all paths lead inward. Space and time trade places. You wouldn't fall through space, you'd fall through time. But even that thought, as haunting as it is, carries a kind of peace. Because this is not destruction, it's transformation. The energy and matter that fall in don't simply disappear, they reshape the fabric of the universe. They feed its structure, stir its evolution. A black hole is not an end, it's a recycling of meaning. Even in darkness, the galaxy breathes. You watch as jets of energy erupt from the edges of the black hole's disk. Twin streams of radiation stretching for thousands of light years. They shoot out in opposite directions, carving through space like beams of creation. These jets seed distant regions with energy and dust. They may even spark the birth of new stars, hundreds of light years away. The galaxy's heart devours, yet it gives. You realize the Milky Way's very balance depends on this paradox. Without its center, its arms would not hold shape. Its rhythm would falter. Its stars would wander unbound. Every spiral needs a center. Every dance needs gravity. Every heartbeat needs silence between the beats. Sagittarius A is that silence, the pause that lets the galaxy sing. You drift back, slowly, letting the glow of the core soften into distance. As the golden haze fades, you feel something stir, not fear, but reverence. You've seen where time folds. You've seen light kneel to gravity. You've seen what the universe hides and what it reveals. And somehow, in all of it, you find reflection. Because maybe the galaxy's center isn't just out there. Maybe every being has one too. A place of gravity within them, where chaos becomes balance and silence holds the shape of meaning. You think of your own heart, beating softly beneath your ribs, its rhythm keeping you alive, its pauses defining its song. The galaxy and you, different in scale, identical in essence, both powered by unseen forces, both made of light and shadow, both alive. You turn now, leaving the crowded center behind. The density of stars begins to thin. The glow fades into cooler tones. blues, silvers, faint reds. Ahead lies the quieter outskirts of the spiral arm. There, the galaxy breathes more softly, letting dust gather, letting new stars gestate in its calm. You are leaving the heart of power and entering the realm of patience. And as you go, you look back one last time. The galactic core burns like an ember, distant now, but eternal. And in its glow, you see the truth of the Milky Way, a being both ancient and young, both fierce and tender, both vast and intimate. It's not a place you visit, it's a home that remembers you. Chapter 4: The Hidden Darkness Between Stars. You leave the bright core behind. The light fades. The stars grow sparse. At first, it feels like loneliness, like stepping away from a crowded room into a vast unlit field. But slowly, as your eyes adjust, you begin to see the beauty of what's missing. Darkness here isn't the absence of light, it's the promise of it. You drift through one of the great interstellar clouds, a colossal mist of gas and dust stretching across light years. To the naked eye, it would look like nothing, a dark patch cutting across the glow of the Milky Way. But from within, you realize it's full. Every cubic inch of this space holds trillions of atoms, mostly hydrogen, the simplest element, and the most patient. Hydrogen waits. It drifts for millions of years, gathering, folding in on itself under the pull of gravity. In time, that gravity will create something extraordinary. But right now, it's silence. Thick, velvety, absolute. You can almost feel it on your skin. Not a chill, but an absence. No wind, no echo. Just the hum of nothing becoming something. As you glide deeper into the cloud, the faint starlight from behind begins to fade completely. Soon you're surrounded by total shadow. You're inside a nebula that hasn't yet remembered how to shine. It feels alive, somehow, like a lung waiting to take its first breath. Tiny grains of carbon and ice float past you. They are smaller than dust, yet they carry the history of the galaxy. Each one is a relic, a shard from a long dead star, a piece of cosmic ash. The galaxy never wastes its dead. It recycles them into new beginnings. Those grains bump, stick, gather. Over millennia, they form denser clumps. Each clump grows heavier, warmer, until one day, a spark. The first flicker of fusion ignites within. A new star is born. But we're not there yet. We're still in the waiting room of creation. The stillness here is sacred. If you listen, really listen, you might hear the faint crackle of cosmic rays, the soft collision of atoms, the whisper of gravity assembling the future. Scientists call these places molecular clouds, the wombs of stars. They are cold, barely 10 degrees above absolute zero, and yet they hold seeds of light. It's strange how the universe works. Every act of creation begins in darkness. Every flame is born of pressure, of stillness, of surrender. And maybe that's true for us too. You drift through a thicker region now, so dense that even the background starlight cannot pierce it. Your sense of direction dissolves. There's no up, no down, only weightless waiting. Time slows. The scale of things becomes incomprehensible. This single cloud could form thousands of stars. Each of those stars could have planets. Each planet could have moons. And on one of those moons, perhaps one day, eyes might open and look up. You're floating inside the blueprint of futures that haven't yet happened. The galaxy dreams in slow motion. You notice faint filaments, thread-like rivers of denser gases. They twist and braid through the darkness, guided by magnetic fields invisible to your eyes. They look like veins, and in a way, they are. They carry the raw material of life through the body of the galaxy. Eventually, those filaments will collapse into cores, and those cores will collapse into stars. Light will return. The darkness will transform itself again. You realize here in the quiet that darkness is not the opposite of light. It's part of the same rhythm, a necessary breath in the universe's endless heartbeat. Without it, light would have nowhere to be born. You pass through the densest part of the cloud. Tiny sparks begin to flicker around you. Protostars, the first faint glow of heat pressing against the cold. They're invisible to human eyes, but instruments would see them shining in infrared, like embers beneath ashes. These are stars in rehearsal, warming up before the first act of their lives. In a few million years, their radiation will clear away this very cloud, revealing them to the rest of the galaxy. They will take their place among the constellations as bright points for future eyes to name, to study, to dream upon. But You are here before all that. You're witnessing their quiet gestation, the holy patience of the coming. For a moment, you stop moving. You simply float. Everything is silent. Everything is still. And in that stillness, you feel something shift. Not out there, but within you. You realize that you too are made of the same balance, light and dark, movement and rest, energy and emptiness. We spend our lives chasing the light, knowledge, progress, success. But the universe reminds us that the dark is not our enemy, it's our origin. Without the unseen, the seen could never exist. You take one last look around. The slow swirl of gas, the drifting dust, the faint hum of gravity sculpting the unseen. It's like being inside the universe sketchbook, watching raw potential gather into meaning. And then a dim glow appears in the distance. A sunrise, not of a world, but of a star. The darkness begins to dissolve. Light is returning. The silence gives way to radiance. And the next chapter begins. Chapter 5: The Birthplaces of Suns. It begins with pressure, invisible, relentless pressure. Deep within the cold clouds you've drifted through, the atoms have been drawing closer, their mutual gravity tightening its grip. What once was gas begins to gather, condensing into a single glowing seed. And then, at last, ignition. Hydrogen atoms fuse into helium. Energy floods outward. A star is born. For the first time in millions of years, light returns to this corner of the galaxy. It starts faint, a soft pulse, like the first flicker of dawn through mist. Then, brighter, hotter, until the surrounding gas begins to glow. A nebula ignited from within. You're witnessing what the universe has done 1,000,000,000 times before, and yet each time it feels miraculous. You drift through the heart of this new stellar nursery. The colors are breathtaking. Hydrogen glows pink and crimson. Oxygen radiates in cool blues. Sulfur adds its quiet gold. Together, they form clouds that ripple and twist. Celestial tapestries woven by physics and chance. It's hard to believe this beauty is simply chemistry. Atoms colliding, energy transferring, equations playing out across light years. And yet, it feels alive. These are the nebulae of the Milky Way, the places where stars are born. The Orion Nebula, the Carina Nebula, the Eagle Nebula, whose towering columns of gas and dust we call the pillars of creation. You drift between them like a slow moving dream. The scale defies imagination. Each pillar is larger than our entire solar system. The dust you see glowing softly in the light would take centuries to cross at the speed of light. Yet here, in the galaxy's quiet patience, nothing is hurried. Creation unfolds like a long exhale. Everywhere you look, new stars are forming. Some no larger than Jupiter, others so massive they will live fast and die young, exploding in supernova that will one day seed new generations of stars. Around some of these newborn suns, you see disks of dust, flat rings swirling in silence. These are protoplanetary disks, the birthplaces of worlds. Within them, grains collide and stick, forming pebbles, then rocks, then planets. It's a slow and violent dance, but eventually the chaos settles into order. A solar system emerges, planets orbiting a star, moons orbiting planets, comets tracing long ellipses of ice and memory. And one day, on one of those planets, oceans might form. And in those oceans, life might rise. Each nebula you see here is a cradle of potential life. Not just light, but consciousness in waiting. You float closer to one of the brightest regions. A cluster of newborn stars still wrapped in their birth clouds. They glow like embers beneath gauge, their heat slowly pushing away the gas that once hid them. You can see the interplay of forces: gravity pulling inward, radiation pushing outward, the two locked in perfect opposition, maintaining balance. It's the same balance that holds atoms together, that keeps galaxies from collapsing, that allows life to exist at all. The more you drift, the more you realize that everything, from the smallest atom to the largest star, is built on tension and grace. Too much chaos and creation tears itself apart. Too much order and it freezes before it can grow. Between them lies harmony, and that's where stars are born. Far in the distance, a supernova flares, the death cry of a massive star. It shines brighter than a billion suns, then fades into silence. The shock wave rolls through nearby clouds, compressing them triggering new births. Destruction creating life. Life creating destruction. The two inseparable, like inhale and exhale. You watch as one cloud ripples under the wave and new lights flicker on. A nebula blooms where none existed before. And for a fleeting moment, you understand the rhythm of the cosmos. The galaxy breathes, not in seconds, but in epochs. Not in air, but in fire. And you are part of that breath. It's a strange kind of joy, watching creation from this distance. Not possessive joy, not pride, but something quieter, like standing before a sunrise and realizing it doesn't need you to happen, but you're grateful to witness it. That is what Milky Way offers: perspective. Every star, every world, every nebula, they are all reminders that existence is not random but relational. Every atom connects to another. Every light illuminates the dark. And perhaps the purpose of consciousness is simply to notice, to see, to marvel, to whisper softly, "Thank you." Chapter 6: The Spiral Arms and the Long Journey Home. The Milky Way stretches outward before you, a vast wheel of light spinning slowly through infinity. You've drifted through its heart, through its shadows, through its silent symphonies. Now it's time to go home. You move along one of the galaxy's great spiral arms, where billions of stars curve outward in long luminous tendrils. Each arm is like a frozen wave, a pattern sculpted by gravity, by time, by the galaxy's quiet rhythm. Our own sun lives in one of these arms, the Orion Spur, a small and humble branch between the Sagittarius and Perseus arms. We often imagine our place as the center of everything, but here, in this grand rotation, we are a quiet afterthought, a soft note in a much larger song. And yet, somehow, that makes it even more miraculous, because we're not special for being at the center. We are special for being aware of it at all. You pass through regions of older stars, ancient red giants burning dimly, their light stretched thin by time. Some of them are nearing the end, their outer layers drifting away in delicate shells. They will become white dwarfs soon. Small, dense remnants glowing faintly for billions of years, cooling ever so slowly into quiet memory. Around them, you see faint traces of planetary nebulae, rings of colored gas expanding like ripples in a pond. They look like eyes, like flowers, like sighs made visible. Even in their final moments, these stars create beauty. They give back to the galaxy that once gave them form. The Milky Way's arms are full of such paradoxes: life and death, motion and stillness, chaos and grace. You drift past clusters of young stars, their light electric and pure, then past regions of faint dust, where future generations wait to be born. Everywhere, creation and decay hold hands. Everywhere, the galaxy breathes. Now, as you near the outer edges of the Milky Way, the light begins to thin. Stars become scattered, tiny islands of brightness, floating in the dark sea. You turn back one last time. The Milky Way fills your view, a glowing spiral suspended in perfect blackness, its arms radiant with the ghosts of stars and the breath of dust. You see the golden heart at its center, the faint blue shimmer of its edges, the soft silvery mist of its in between. It's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, and somehow it feels familiar because it is. That light, it's in you. Every cell in your body, every breath, every heartbeat is a continuation of what began in those stars. The universe did not create you separately from itself. It created you as a way to see itself. You are not under the stars. You are one of them. You begin your descent now, drifting back through the spiral arm, past the fields of young suns, past the quiet nebulae, past the faint shimmer of distant clusters. Gravity calls you gently homeward, not just toward Earth, but toward belonging. You pass by the faint, familiar glow of the sun, that modest yellow star that sustains every ocean, every forest, every heartbeat you've ever known. From here, it's small, but its light feels warmer than any other. You approach it slowly, watching as the planets come into view, each one tracing its perfect path around the star, like pearls in orbit. And there, a small blue one, half in shadow, half in sunlight, a world wrapped in clouds and oceans. Home. You descend through its atmosphere, through soft wheels of vapor, through winds scented with rain and salt. The air grows thick again. The sky turns blue. You can hear sound once more. The hum of life, the whisper of waves, the quiet sigh of the world turning beneath you. You land softly, somewhere beneath the night sky. Above you, the Milky Way stretches across the heavens. The same river of light you now know from the inside. You realize that even when you're here, bound by gravity and air, you're still part of that endless dance. You never left it. You never could. The universe watches back. You look up. The stars are steady, ancient, eternal. They look distant, but you now know that distance is an illusion. You're built from the same matter. You are the galaxy thinking about itself. Every night sky you've ever stared into was not a view from below, but a mirror. The Milky Way is your reflection, a reminder that everything that burns above once burned within. You remember the places you have seen tonight, the cold birthplaces of suns, the glowing pillars of creation, the silent heart of gravity, the songs of dust and light, all of it, alive, endless, interconnected. And in that realization, there is no loneliness left. The galaxy will keep turning. New stars will be born. Old ones will fade. And the same light that touched your eyes tonight will travel on for millennia, seeking new worlds, new eyes, new minds to wonder at it. That is the promise of the Milky Way. Nothing truly ends, it only transforms. Even after we are gone, the atoms of our bodies will drift back into the galaxy's flow to become the dust that forms new suns, new worlds, new lives. We will return to the same rhythm that once created us. And maybe in some far future, someone else will look up and feel the same quiet awe, the same ache of wonder, the same whisper in the dark. I am part of this. So tonight, as you close your eyes, know this. You are not small. You are not separate. You are a constellation of memories, a symphony of atoms, a spark of the Milky Way that has learned how to dream. Sleep well, traveler. The galaxy hums softly above you, and somewhere the stars are still being born.